Get up the Nexus. Alright, he's got an expansion down. So I know he's at least on 2 base, not the only one for 1 base Ling all in. He's kind of died out of fashion now anyways, from what I've seen lately. We kind of want to get our wall up. We always want to have some kind of wall. It helps protect our units from dying. Or try to get some kind of Sim City going. So once we have this kind of wall set up, we can plug it with a unit. Got these Lings if we can. 2 Lings aren't very scary, so I'm not too afraid of his army yet. Still playing defensive. I'm not going out and chasing him. So that could result in death. Not careful. All right, now my gateway should be finishing. Should have war gates soon. Transfer over some probes. And now I'm getting nothing but sentries until I have an adequate number. I want at least, right here I have 6. I'll put 1 for defense. So I have 6 and 1 defender. Now I can warp in stalkers because I have my my goal achieved of at least 6. Now I can warp in something other than sentries. At the same time, I'm going to be getting my probes, getting my wall and my infrastructure. I'm walling off this area over here with my stalker, this area over here with my army. I don't have to worry about this little crack and this little crack. I have my forge walling off the rear of my base, so it should be pretty well defended here. I could even wall this off too, this area down here. We're going to drop a cannon to help us defend. And we're gonna since we have our sentries and I got them with a lot of energy, we can go out for a timing push. Check to see what Zerg is doing. Force some units other than drones. Take some map control. Clear out his Zergling at the watchtower. And this isn't an all-in, of course. We're just doing a little bit of pressure. You always want to hug the terrain if you can. So I'm trapping the queen. That second force field wasn't as good because it was stacked on my first one. Want to try to protect these sentries if you can. Get a roach kill if you can, it would be nice. Try to hug the terrain. Get him into a nice choke. Back here. Go behind his mineral line. Again, more chokes. Hug the terrain. Now we can get some nice force fields off. Get a guardian shield up. Play defensively. Put ourselves into a good position. Trying to create as little room for Zerg to attack us. I force fielded over here. I'm using his own hatchery to wall off. At the same time, I'm trying to macro up back at home. Try to do whatever damage I can. If you have a queen, I'll try and force field that. Oh, I lost a sentry. Really have to try and protect those. At the same time, you can warp in. Do a little bit of damage here. Get my robotics up. The pylon. Here I'm trapping a couple roaches. I'm just targeting firing his hatchery. If I can kill it, that'll be good. Kill it and back off. Try to hug the terrain, keep your sentries alive. Most important. Oh. So I was able to keep 1 alive out of 6. So that means I need to replenish. Need to get at least 4 to 5 more. Get my quota back. And we can add some defensive cannons. since we were able to do some significant damage to Zerg, get our upgrades, whatever you like, you can add additional gates and start pumping the Immortals. Get another panel. Hug the terrain again as you're moving. So I'm always trying to do my best. Do that. So that's an example of chrono-boosting the sentries out, getting the energy you need, so that you can do something like that push and use the terrain to your advantage. You always want to create minimal surface area for Zerg to try and harass you with. So now that we kind of hit the mid game, he has too many roaches that even I don't have enough force fields to kill him off. I don't want to risk losing the game because I lost all my sentries and all my army. So now I want to play a little bit more macro oriented. I want to get a don't want to do that. Want to get a third up if I could. Break down the rocks. Some units. Pump out those immortals. Again, to counter the roaches, basically Stalker, Sentry, Immortal. A good mix of all of those is the best army you can get.
Upgrade complete. You must construct additional pylons.
I'm going to start getting my Colossus out as well, my Robotics Bay, if I can. Start setting up some spotter pylons, help me warp in. Break down some rocks, try and be active with your army. And all this time, I have 8 sentries now. And all this time, I'm basically getting my sentries max on energy for any fight so that I can use both Guardian Shield as well as Force Fields. Set up some cannons at your third. Start pumping out some Colossus. So we're gonna see what's going on in Zerg's base again. Once we macro up, we kind of wanted to do as much as we can. So if I wanted to, I could probably go for a blink timing. Do some harass with my blink before he has anything like Hydralisks or Mutalisks, because then you need to play defensive. If he has Hydra or Muta, if he just has Roaches and Lings, you could harass him a little bit. If that's your style, that's what you want to go for. Get my next base now. As I start pumping Colossus, I'm going to need a lot of gas to continuously get those. So now we see that Zerg has a high yield, and that's something that we kind of want to deny, if we can. So I'm going to try and hug the wall. Try to use Force Fields to my advantage to prevent any army from coming. Looking for his army now. I don't really see anything yet, so I need to be cautious. So I see his army. I see his roaches. Jshore, this is the part where you attack me with roaches.
I don't have any army because I can't play.
You just Zerg, bro. You should have like a million roaches.
Yeah, but you actually know how to counter an expansion, unlike me, so you did that.
Well,
And now I don't have an economy.
sorry, bro. I'll wait till you, I guess, get an economy.
Well, no, I'll attack. It's not gonna make a difference.
Alright, so kind of want to
Force field.
kind of want to pull back once we get some force fields. Focus fire these corruptors if we can. Focus fire those first. and then reapply our force field. So we separated the Lings and the Corruptors from the Roach army with the force field. So we force fielded and then we backed off. Now we want to segment this army also. So you see Corruptors, I mean Infestors, we need to be careful. Like only a couple of my Stalkers help deal. Added some additional ones to...
I'm just not a good person to demonstrate force fields against, because
It's
there's so
fine.
many other factors that matter that I can't do well.
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. We'll look
Like,
at
force fields are not the game-changing factor.
oh,
It's not a good example.
force fields?
They're not the game-changing factor, so it's not exactly the best game examples.
What do you mean they're not the game-changing factor? What is a game-changing factor?
You're not winning because of force field placement. I mean, it doesn't make a difference whether you have good ones
I'm
or
not
bad
trying to
ones
win or
because-
lose. I'm just trying to
I
demonstrate.
know, but I'm so
how
far
to force
behind
field.
you,
It's not about winning.
you can't
It's fine.
demonstrate effectively.
Well, I'm not even.
because-
I can do this versus AI. I'm just trying to show you how to maneuver your army, how to place force fields to block an army using your terrain. I'm not trying to kill, win, lose anything. So you can demonstrate it just as fine. I can do this versus AI. You know, it's just trying to get some input. So I'll load up the replay real quick. See some basic things. Yeah. Just gonna force field to the fast forward to the good parts with any force fields. Again, it's not about winning or anything. Just looking at force fielding. So we wanted to chrono boost these guys out early. Again, I hit my quota of 6. We have a bunch of force fields. We have once you have 6 sentries, if you chrono boosted them out early, you should have enough to do with timing. Why? Because you have a lot of energy on your force fields because of the fact that you chrono boosted them out. And I have a small army, nothing major, but this is basically to prevent Zerg from droning. As long as he makes units, that's all you want really. If you can get any additional harassment done, take out a queen, kill a couple drones, that'll be good as well. So I'm at around 9 minutes. We encounter the Zerg for the first time. He's got a bunch of roaches. Now I force field this queen because I wanted to take it out. Only one force field was kind of needed here. I was trying to set up one to the right of it a little bit to prevent the queen from going just to the right and had to go a little bit more down. But as it wasn't really necessary, so I kind of stacked the force field here, made it kind of like a force field igloo. This is something you don't want to do. Making too many force fields. Every force field counts too, especially you don't have a ton of sentries. I only have 6. Or should I have only 6 over here, so definitely need to be careful. I think I lost one. Anyways, so I'm able to take out this queen, which is good. I ended up throwing up 2 more. They were pretty decent ones, but they didn't catch anything. So they were kind of. I was trying to catch at least 2 roaches. Those kind of missed. So I needed to add a 3rd one right by his creep tumor up here to fully get those last 2 roaches. So now I know my position. I back up. I need to again hug the terrain. I don't want to be too crazy here. I am able to trap 1 by mistake. So you can see the way I'm moving. I'm actually moving right out because then you would need a lot more force fields. If you hug the terrain, you're minimizing the amount of force fields needed because of the fact that you're up against the wall. So when you're force fielding, remember to keep your terrain advantage. Keep hugging the terrain. It just makes it so that you can't get flanked. You don't need to put the force fields around you. Rather, if you were in an open surface, then you would need to use twice as much, if not more, force fields. This is just a way to maximize your efficiency with the force field. Again, I'm just trying to hug the terrain. I'm in the back of his natural, so I'm able to throw up a couple force fields here. I'm using his hatchery as an extractor to prevent the majority of his army, down here with the roaches, from engaging my army. At the same time, I do want to keep my sentries alive, so if I could, if this army gets too close to the minerals, I'd have to pull my sentries back up this way, and keep the stalkers as my tanks. At the same time, I could reinforce with my pylon if I needed more tanks. But since this force field over here, down here, traps this army, I'm trapping about 9 roaches, I only have to deal with 6 roaches. And 7 stalkers and 5 sentries can deal with 6 roaches just fine. So I am able to take that out. I have pop a guardian shield as well, which you can do if you have, again, it all comes down to that energy. If you have enough energy, it'll be good. So we see him approaching from the right. And this is an example of a force field as well, where you can use to prevent Zerg entirely. A lot of the time, Zerg will try to do some kind of flank maneuver or anything to prevent some kind of single-hand force field from being placed down, or a small set. So this is something you can do as well to prevent Zerg's army if he just moves in 1A. A lot of Protoss, I know this, have problems, myself included, with the Zergs that just go with the massive ball in 1A. Lately it's been Mutalisk play, not as much Roach play, but they used to come out with huge